I'm the itinerant voice actor Carl Bishop for Wise Brother Media, and today I'm talking to a man who I dearly love his music, even though he has a disturbingly close relationship with Vegemite. It's Colin Hay, everybody.
Yes, it's a disturbing substance.
To some people, but not to you.
Not to me, no.
Yeah, because you know how to do it.
Not to a whole nation.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, the new album, I'm very excited about it because I think you've done it again. And what I mean is the song "A Thousand Million Reasons." It hits me in the same way.
Right.
It hits me in the same way as "Waiting for My Real Life to Begin." I just had to let you know. I think it's a beautiful song. I think you seem to be really good at doing. I'd say it's not really a love song, a direct love song, but it feels that way to me. It's about love to me.
That's right. Well, I think that's kind of accurate. So yeah, it's a love song about being alive, really,
yeah.
And trying to appreciate everything we have, and as opposed to things that are out of our control, such as what happens to us afterwards, or we seem to share that. That's what we all share. We all have this life experience. We all are born and we all die, and it's something to be said for that. The fact that we all go through those similar experiences, and yet we're caught up in mayhem. We're caught up in division, which is very, very unfortunate and distressing, I have to say. So if you can actually have that experience of being with someone where you can go through a life and share the simplicities of and the rituals of a simple life with someone, it's a bit of a gift. It's a beautiful thing to be treasured, I think.
Yeah. Do you meditate, Colin?
Yes.
It shows. It comes through, because that song it's one of those moments where you think, I don't meditate on a daily basis. I would say I'm not disciplined with it, but I've had my brushes with mindfulness, shall I say? Like I try to keep my anger in check. I try to be grateful and remind myself of those things. And those are the moments when I can say I'm really enjoying myself, is when I just let everything fall away. And so I kind of felt that you were a kindred spirit in that regard.
Yes, I think it's an important thing. I mean, sometimes we do fall out of the discipline of it. I try to practice daily, but I have to say that sometimes I miss out, but I'm always better when I do.
Yeah.
In all things, I think.
I guess I would say I micro meditate. There's like moments where I'm getting nervous or agitated, and I just breathe. I listen to myself and feel myself breathe, like for even 5 seconds, and that's the extent of it for me.
Yes, I think it's very important that, because you bring yourself back into yourself, and you're in the present, which is, I think, is the only place you can be.
You're a really sensitive and deep guy, and you're serious at times, but then you're also very silly, which I think is cool.
Yes.
You've got two sides to you like that. Tell me what's the deal with the Frankenstein head that sings "Who Can It Be Now"? How did that come about?
Oh, they just whoever made that particular toy, if you like. Is it a toy? I mean,
yeah, it's like a Halloween decoration.
Halloween, yeah. The company that made that, they just had that idea, and they went to the publishers and of the song, and they approached me, and they say, they want to make a Frankenstein head singing "Who Can It Be Now? Can you approve that?" And then I said, yeah, sure. I like Frankenstein, and no problem. So that's how that came about.
Well, I know. Well, you see, like someone who is like totally self-serious would have said, absolutely not, which I think it's great that you did that. You let him use it. Now, was that during the Men at Work days that they did that, or was
No, it was. I think it was probably about a decade ago or something. I think that's in from memory.
All right. Well, then, good for you that you still have the publishing, and so you must be making some Frankenstein money then.
Well, I mean, the publishing is is well, now it's Sony ATV. Then it was EMI, because Sony ATV bought EMI. But the songs that I wrote with Men at Work were signed to. We had there was a publisher, but they still have to come. They still have to come to me for approval.
Now, you wake up every morning. Once you finish your Vegemite and toast, drink your coffee or your tea, you have your entire day ahead of you. You can do whatever you want. You've been calling your own schedule for so many years.
Right.
And maybe you address this in the documentary that's out now, Waiting for My Real Life. You've got that big maw of open time, which you can use to be incredibly productive, but you can also be incredibly destructive in that time.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing. And for quite a while, I was that. In the mid to late 80s, was a very destructive time where I was under the illusion that fame and fortune buys you time. But it's an illusion.
What sort of time do you think it was going to buy? Like, it'll carry me along until I can find a new band or write another hit?
Yeah, I wasn't really being particularly creative. I was just drinking too much, and I was enjoying myself, but I got caught up in that, and I wasn't really being particularly creative.
Yeah. Songwriters need to be good listeners, I think. Do you get most of your inspiration from outward sources, or is most of it internal?
Well, I think it's both. Sometimes when you're listening, and sometimes things come in. You can actually almost feel an idea just coming into your head or your body, and then sometimes you're listening and you realize that you're actually listening to yourself. And sometimes, you have your imagination also, which is really limitless.
Yeah.
You can just make things up that make some kind of sense or that have some kind of intrigue.
which I think you do in song off the new album, Fierce Mercy. It's called Frozen Fields of Snow. That, to me, maybe it's autobiographical, but I think you're also very good at just sort of writing little dramas and writing about people that don't exist, but are maybe informed by, people that do.
Yeah, that was. I had a little piece of music which I was sitting around listening in the studio with, and I didn't have anything to go with it. And I was working on another song, and I started playing that song, and just this phrase, the phrase "Frozen Fields of Snow" came into my head, and I thought, well, that's an interesting little phrase, and then this gentleman appeared in my consciousness, in my head, who was standing in the kitchen of an old house that he was born in, and all his family was gone, and he'd come back because he'd been contacted, and they said you have to come back and figure out what to do with this house, and so he was just standing there in the kitchen thinking about his life, and the connecting image, if you like, was always when he came home all through his life were these frozen fields of snow, which were outside the window, which he would look out and see, from the kitchen window. And so I just told that little tale as he told it to me in a way. It was just kind of like I just wrote it down. I didn't really change all that much.
That's so cool.
And that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
But that was one of those experiences where I liked him. Yeah, I liked the guy. He was kind of flawed, and he fucked up a few times, but he was just this person who was still alive, had a bit of a rough time of it, and I don't know whether he was going to sell the house or whether he was going to live in it. I suspect that he probably wasn't. I suspect that he was probably just going to, put it in the hands of a realtor and walk away,
Yeah, see, that's cool. Like, you created an entire life and backstory out of whole cloth.
Right.
You're obviously a writer, and that's what it takes to be a great actor, too, is one of those skills. Colin Hay, you're on tour right now with the album Fierce Mercy, and the documentary on Amazon, Waiting for My Real Life. Thank you again for having the conversation with me. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks for having a chat. I enjoyed it. It's a different experience, chatting to you than most of the other people. I mean, I do that as obviously as part of the promotion, but it's tough going, you know.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the compliment. I really appreciate it, Colin.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, there you have it. Another edition of The Itinerant Voice Actor with me, Carl Bishop. My little podcast that no one listens to, but everyone should. Special thanks to Johnny and Robert at Wise Brother Media, celebrity booker Paul Adamo, my partner in crime David Levin at Brainstorm Inc., and the super talented Noel Honig at the Drawing Room NYC. More episodes of The Itinerant Voice Actor coming soon. Thanks for listening.